Inside I heard the trumpets call, a salute to the champions on the wall. And in the jazz of squalls and in passion brawls she danced.
When we last left our group, you had discovered an island in the middle of Lake Pontchartrain.
Yes, I'm not going to lie. Things got a little hazy for me.
Right. You're sleepy.
Yeah.
Jody had opened her wizard sight and had discovered that there was some weird anomaly south of you because Captain Ron couldn't seem to put the boat in the where he wanted to put the boat.
It could have been because he'd been drinking heavily.
No, it was that he was sure he had it in the right spot. You guys had dove into Lake Pontchartrain. It was just not working right. And so you had dispelled the veil that was covering the island and was also making people move away from it. But it had required you to tap into a couple of the ley lines that were converging there. One of them was a ley line that was of life, energy, kind of things like that. And the other one was a ley line of fear, which had caused your heart to race just a bit. But when the veil was destroyed, and I think we were close to where the sun was setting, you realized there was an island there with trees and what looked like a decrepit, very much mansion that you're not sure how old it was. But it was an island, and there was actually a small dock that stuck out into the water as well. And so that's where we were at the last.
Did you say that it was like an antebellum style?
Very antebellum looking. Probably maybe even a little older than antebellum because you're not sure.
Is that like plantation style houses?
Yes. So you're kind of wondering what you've just uncovered. Bum, bum, bum. And it is at the location with the 3 ley lines.
Were there any side effects or anything tainted ley line?
That's a really good question.
Do I feel weird?
You feel weird, yes. You're not sure what is going on.
How do I feel?
You feel fine.
You feel excited.
Yeah. Feel excited, yeah.
Just
I will say this much. When we were flying out of New Orleans to go to Scotland, and as we were flying over the city, I was like, Jody, look, see that road right there? Yeah, it's a ley line right there. That's the ones I was seeing. And I was looking at the way the roads, and that's, look, out there, Pontchartrain's where you guys are. It was fun. Yeah. Anyway, so I digress. It's probably, the sun is probably maybe a couple inches above the horizon. It's maybe around 5 o'clock or so. It's getting dark, but you can definitely still see. What do you want to do?
Are there any lights like on in the mansion?
No,
or on the dock,
absolutely
anything?
dark.
Absolutely dark.
Absolutely dark.
So
We're
dark,
in the
no.
south now.
It's very dark.
It's very dark. Yeah. No, there's no lights at all. Now you can still see that there seems to be kind of a clearing around the mansion for the most part. The trees are, kind of the old swamp oaks, maybe some of them are cypress and things like that. Other than that, there does seem to be a small building down by the dock. But it is, again, pretty decrepit. Looks like it's kind of fallen into disrepair.
No, we haven't moved the boat anywhere near it, right? So we could probably move the boat closer.
Are you done being full Galadriel on the front of the boat right now?
Yeah, she's settled back to the boat again. She did at one point throw her arms out to the side and float into the air about a foot or two, and then she settled back down. Yeah, right? Yeah, she was harnessing some pretty serious, significant power.
So do I feel nauseous or just not right?
You just don't feel right.
Okay.
There's something really bothering you. Yeah. You're not sure what it is, but you just don't feel right.
All right, I'm gonna.
She's not right.
Go check on Della and be like, "Are you okay after that?"
I don't know. I feel strange, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll
From
see.
like extending a lot of power, or
no. The 3rd ley line I touched. Are you sure?
Second.
Okay. The 2nd ley line, I thought it was 3. The 2nd ley line I touched was...
The 32nd ley line.
Yeah, the 32nd.
I think it was tainted with something, but I don't know what. I don't know how it's affected me, but it's just different. Yeah.
That's definitely going on the to-do list.
Are we... Is the captain sober enough to pilot this?
Captain Ron's actually pretty solid, really. He goes, "Whoa, there's an island out there."
We were drinking.
Wow.
So there's like, business is slow. I come out here and just...
So he
All right.
goes and gets inside, the helm, and he starts up the motor.
Are we taking Captain Ron out there?
I mean...
Yes, we're taking him. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's got to move the boat, and so he, turns the wheel, heads towards the dock. And his it's an old, remember, shrimp boat. It's probably about 35, 40 feet long. No nets on
I
it
could
anymore.
strangle him, yeah.
But don't do that. Captain Ron's a nice guy.
No, just
I-
sleeper hold.
Yeah.
I very much
wouldn't
missed
let-
whatever the beginning of that I was, he's got to move it on. He's moved to like 30, 40 feet long. I can choke him. I mean,
She
I can
asked,
strangle him. That's-
Sure.
she asked, do you have some kind of hold to pass him out? I was like, yeah, I can.
Yeah. So he's heading towards the dock. It takes you maybe 5 minutes to get to this dock. And there's a one point as you're going through the water, there's this kind of weird chilly sensation that rolls over you. Maybe where the veil was, and you're kind of passing through. I mean, you shut it down, maybe not permanently, but at least for a little while. He pulls the boat up to the dock and says, "Hey, somebody hop onto the dock and tie us off real quick."
I'll do it. You got it.
You got it.
They
you
both jump at the same time.
We just said I'll do it. Wait, you got it. You do it.
Okay, athletics check real quick.
I imagine it went exactly like that.
Exactly.
I was like I got.
Oh, no.
Oh!
I have a +3, so that's a 1.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, so you hop off of the boat onto the dock, kind of stumble around a bit, and then he cuts the engine, maybe reverses them a second. You grab one of the lines that's hanging off and tie it off on one of the little boat cleats that's there. You run to the back of the boat, do the same thing, and he shuts the engine down and then kind of throws this gangplank off so that it hits the dock. And he says, "Land ho!"
Imagine that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he looks at all of you and says, "Was this what you're looking for?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Well,
He kind of looks at you and says, okay.
Well, we were looking for something.
For artifacts from the
This-
antebellum days.
This could be it.
Old museum pieces.
Okay. Well, look, so does anybody live here or do you know?
Nope.
I guess we'll find out.
Why don't you stay on the boat and we'll get out and go see.
That sounds like a great idea. I'm going to stay on the boat and pull the gangplank up. And if something happens, you guys let me know. I'll put the
We'll
gangplank
find
down.
our own way home.
Well, no. I'll stay here and wait for you. I just, if there's anybody here, I don't want them getting on the boat. And you do notice he comes walking out of the area where he's driving the boat. He's got, looks like maybe a 357 pistol or something like that. And he's got a flare gun. And he goes, so I can, he tosses the flare gun to you and says, look, if there's any kind of problem, you shoot a flare off and I'll go for help. Otherwise, I'm going to stay here.
I'm going to hand it back like, no, if you have a problem, you shoot this off and we'll come help.
He says, okay, I'll keep the flare gun, and yeah. He says,
And
but
I'm doing this dum, 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 like flex things. Yeah.
and he says, I'm going to keep the pistol and the flare gun, and I'll let you know if there's any problems. So hopefully that we won't have any issues.
Some sort of light.
And so he, I guess you guys get off on the dock.
I
Yeah.
think we have our own flare gun.
Yeah, we
Probably
can.
do. And he once you get off on the dock, he pulls the board up and says, look, I'll be here whenever you're ready to leave. Just let me know. The dock is very mossy and slippery and wet. Just kind of old wood that's been in the swamp for a long time slimy. It's
Feel like
Yeah.
rotting or anything?
no, which is weird. It's not rotting, but it's just slippery. Like it's been here a long time, and just the general ooze has
Does
gotten
it-
onto it.
Look like it should have rotted?
Well, Lafitte was around in the 1700s. So you're talking about if this is Lafitte's island or his home or whatever, if it's been here since the 1700s, you're talking 300-year-old wood. So yeah, it should have maybe fallen apart. But the house you're seeing here looks a little more 1860s, maybe Civil War era. So still, couple hundred years, this dock's in remarkably good shape.
How does the house look? About the same, like pretty good shape for being that.
No, the house looks in a lot worse shape.
Okay.
What you're noticing is that it looks like the roof has holes in it. The ivy and moss has really just kind of taken over. The grass on the grounds, which you can see, really tall. There's forest kind of around all the edge of the island except for a few breaks and clearings. You're thinking the center part of the island may be cleared, but it's kind of hard to tell until you walk out there.
I'd like to first check out that outhouse that was near the.
Okay, the little house that's like that. Yeah. Anybody else want to follow her, or what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
I figure we'll go
Stick
through
together.
it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
probably
this
good.
is definitely
All right.
not a split the party
No
situation.
Scooby shenanigans.
No, I'm with you. You notice that there's woods right up next to where the dock is along the edge of the island. There's maybe a 10-foot wide section of kind of dirt and sand and maybe rocks that you can walk on, and then there's just trees. There's kind of a little break in the trees to the left and to the right, but for the most part, it's just trees. There does seem to be a path that leads between the trees going further onto the island, but the building you see kind of extends out over the water a little bit. You're thinking maybe a boathouse. This one, again, seems remarkably well preserved, kind of like the dock. So, yeah.
So, is there any visible windows to look?
Yeah,
in,
there's windows, there's a door, and it does extend about maybe 10 feet over the water. Yeah.
All right, let's.
We'll check
I'm
it
gonna
out.
go up and see.
check for
Yeah,
traps.
we are.
Yeah.
Do I get any like weird vibes from it if I touch it? Like there might be wards or something on
Well,
it.
that would be a lore check, okay?
Right.
Or actually,
Right, like 10 foot
might be an alertness
hole
check.
Right.
You doing it magically or what?
I figured. Yeah, I mean, I would just.
Okay, you could do a kind of a non-rote spell to check it for magic. Do you want to
Okay.
try that?
Yeah.
It's probably a quick evocation. So, how much power are you going to put into it?
For heavy evocation. Evocation is discipline, right? No.
Well, okay.
I write notes to myself. I just forgot.
Right. I gotcha. So when you're doing evocation, right, you're kind of assessing is basically what it is.
Yeah, I have air, water, and I'll use a water since
You're
we're
probably
in the
well,
water.
okay. What you need to do is let's see.
I forgot. One of them is evocation. I just don't remember which one it is. If that's
So your
lore
conviction
or
is what determines how much power you can put
an
into it.
evocation.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
What's your
so
conviction
I have a
at?
+4.
Okay, so you're gonna do 4. Well, okay, but it's also you're probably gonna use spirit magic for it. Do you have a focus that helps you with spirit magic?
Yeah, I have. It says air +1 power, and also
That's
says
not
water and spirit.
Okay,
No,
spirit.
It
It
says
says
air, water, and spirit.
on there.
So I don't know
Okay.
if all are +1.
No.
Just the air one is.
Yeah.
But I do have water and spirit.
Okay. So no wait. Okay. So you're gonna put that in there. You're gonna put a strength of 4. So now you need to roll your discipline. Okay. What's your discipline at?
5.
Okay. You should be okay. Oh yeah, you're fine. All right. So you basically walk up. You kind of put your hand out towards this building, kind of trying to feel the flow of spirit and energy across it. You don't really detect anything besides there seems to be kind of a. It seems like the entire building is encased in some kind of spell that just preserves it. Okay, you sense the same kind of spell on the dock, but it ends pretty much at the island.
Does this spell feel anything like the spell I was trying to remove to see the island?
Lore check. Definitely a lore check.
7?
Yes, definitely the same kind of magic. Okay, same kind of magic. And you get the distinct feeling that it is not wizardry like you're used to dealing with. You're used to, kind of the white wizardry, the
Right.
white council, that kind of stuff. There's a certain kind of feel to that kind of magic. This is something more primal,
Okay.
Maybe deeper. You're not sure. It's just not the same kind of feel that you're used to dealing with. You guys are
Is it
both
the
used to
same-
kind of dealing with magic in a certain kind of genre. Yours is musically based. It's based on air. Yours is a certain thing. This has just a different feel.
Is this feeling the same feeling I got from the ley line?
No, not at
No,
all.
okay.
Not at all. Ley lines are kind of a primal source of
Well, I'm in
energy.
the tainted one. Like maybe
No,
whatever
not
was
at
here
all.
had tainted that.
No,
Okay.
not at all. This is something that it feels like something has almost encapsulated this dock and this building to keep it from falling apart. Yeah.
Well, let's
But
open
it
the.
ends at the end at the. Does it go inside there? Right?
No,
The
just it
island.
stops at the edge of the island, pretty much.
All right,
Yeah.
I will crack open the door.
Okay. You open the door. Inside, there's wooden floors. There looks like an area with some little
And I'll put
pulleys
some
and
light in there.
okay, you can do it with pulleys and you still got a little bit of light. The sun hasn't gone down completely yet. There's pulleys inside there that look like they could be hooked up to a boat, maybe a dinghy to pull it up inside. There's an area that extends out over the water so that you can pull a boat up. You see some hand tools, maybe for woodworking. There's some pots that look like they contain some kind of liquid in them that they're sealed up. It looks like a boathouse where you could work on boats or repair boats if you were going to do it, but they would be small. These boats would probably be 10, 12 feet long, maybe a dinghy or a rowboat or something like that. Certainly not Captain Ron's, 30-foot monster that he's got.
Is there a boat in there, or is it just tools?
There is not. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of
so-
the tools, in fact, look relatively new.
No,
Like they have, not like they've been there for 200 years, but there's no rust.
on there.
Yeah, well, yeah, like maybe they've been, if not recently used, at least have brought out recently. So somebody may have been coming out to this
Somebody
island.
frequents this
I was
place.
gonna say,
Is what it
so-
feels like.
The other thing you see on the opposite side of the trail is what looks like a slab of maybe concrete or stone that has chalk drawings and lines on it. You're not exactly
Human
sure.
nature or hopscotch?
That's a good question. Let me show you what they look like. Hold on.
No, the map is laminated. I have that on a lanyard around my neck.
Oh my god.
You see this drawing, except
Oh.
imagine it's in chalk, okay? And then
I'm a move.
and then at the other
Imamu.
yeah, and so you see that on the concrete, but it's drawn in white, even though the concrete's kind of a dark gray color. Yeah,
Okay.
everybody see that? Yeah.
That is a very nautical looking.
Well, maybe some kind of steamboat too, because it looks like a
There's
chimney with some
chimneys,
smoke
yeah,
coming
right.
out of there or something.
The other thing you see scattered around kind of on this concrete is what looks like a chicken leg, about this much of the leg. And then you also see there's a couple empty bottles.
Some hoodoo stuff, maybe?
Maybe a
Possibly.
tracking spell?
I don't know.
Do I know anything about Umamu? Imamu?
How about lore check?
Let's see what I
Where's
got
that
for
maybe?
lore.
Imamu.
Yeah, Mamu or
Imamu? Yeah.
Ugh, that's a -1.
No, you don't remember anything about Imamu or anything like that. Anybody checking out the bottles or anything?
I have to look at bottles.
Yeah, one of them is Bacardi rum bottle, which is
Ooh.
definitely
Yeah,
recent.
recent.
Yeah, and
Nice.
it's Bacardi white rum. And then there's another one that looks like it's a bottle of Brut champagne, just cheap champagne. And they're both empty. So, yeah. And it looks like they maybe be tipped over or something like that. Yeah.
Partying, maybe?
How recent? Can I tap into Echo of the Beast and channel my inner lizard to smell like maybe if it's like recent or if it's old? Or
Give me an
something?
investigation check.
Oh shit.
Would you rather use alertness?
Yes.
Let's use
that would
alertness.
be
So it's just
lot
probably a
better.
little more primal because you're using kind of your
Just my
animal
smell
skills.
and
Yeah, let's do alertness. That's probably
Okay,
more
yeah,
appropriate.
that sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
That is a 4 total.
That is a really good roll.
These bottles, you notice that they're Bacardi, and they're not old Bacardi. They're reasonably new, probably in the last few years. You're not exactly sure how old.
Okay.
But one of the other things you tap into is that definitely humans have been on this island maybe in the last month or so. It's hard to tell exactly, but there's definitely been people on this island in the
Somewhat
last.
recently.
Yeah.
Somebody else found their way here somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do we see like footprints or anything like that? Because it says
Yeah, you don't see any. If there were, they may have been washed away. You know, it rains a lot in New Orleans, so yeah.
she said there's a path going.
Yeah, there's a little path that kind of winds between the trees. It's overcast and covered by the limbs, but you can. I mean, it's clear. You can tell where it's going. It's going kind of north.
It's either a leftover snack or somebody was doing like voodoo something.
Yeah. I wonder if they drunkenly stumbled upon this somehow.
Maybe. Could be unrelated. You're right.
I mean, I was, drinking, and we didn't. She had to go.
That's what it is. You found it because drunken.
That's right.
Yeah. All veils are dispelled by alcohol.
That's right. You're welcome.
That's right.
All right, well, maybe we should keep moving forward.
Okay.
Okay.
You start heading down the path towards what looks like the little mansion. You go maybe 100 feet, and the oaks branches kind of arch over, making this kind of arched way. Again, the sun is continuing to fall, so it's getting darker and darker and darker. You see a lot of Spanish moss, and as you clear the trees, you see that the center part of the island is basically cleared. There's no trees here, but the outer edges of the island are just, with really thick old growth.
Does it look like it's
You see a lot of smaller buildings off to the right, and then what looks like maybe, I don't know, a fenced-in area. And then to the left, there looks like what used to be some plowed fields. You think you see what looks like maybe sugar cane that's kind of been allowed to just grow wild. And it's kind of taken over. And then there's also some buildings there. And then in front of you is the big kind of antebellum mansion with, basically the trees behind it.
How close to the boat are we?
150 feet, maybe 120 feet. Yeah, it's not far.
Okay.
Did
When we get out of what I would think would be a good sight line for Ron to see us, I want to go ahead and change to the.
Yeah, he can't see you anymore.
I
You've
want my
gone.
wings and claws out just in case.
Yeah, he's definitely can't see you because you kind of moved off into the trees, so you can drag it out if you want. Yeah.
Now that
I
we're
like
in
to do
the inner area, does this
Yeah.
area look manicured or kept up in any
No,
kind of way?
Not at all. The grass is overgrown. There's lots of little scrub brush. Again, like I said, there's a bunch of little houses that kind of stretch off to the east or kind of to the right side of the road and to the left side of the road. And the left side of the road is where you see the tilled area that looks like it's had sugar cane, and then the fenced-in area to the right. So yeah.
So,
There's also right as you clear it, there's what looks like a very dilapidated barn in this area too. There's kind of a fenced-in area. There's a barn, but again, the roof is collapsed. You can kind of see that there's nothing in it because again, the roof is kind of sagging in. A lot of the walls have fallen in. This area seems like it's definitely felt the passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
so we're
Yeah.
thinking main house or outbuildings.
Well, we haven't seen any other people out here.
Yeah,
So I'd say let's cut to the main house.
Yeah.
I mean, because we don't want the sun to go down and us be stuck out here all night.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Or at least that was my thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good.
I'll lead the path to the
So
main
are
house.
you heading straight to the main house?
I think we're going to the main house.
Okay. You can see that there's an area kind of worn down between the basically the right side and the left side of the island that is a little bit trampled down. Maybe it was the main road to the house at some time in the past, and it's kind of been kept trampled down somewhat. It's probably about maybe a couple hundred feet to reach the main house. You walk down. Nothing untoward seems to be happening. It's pretty quiet. You get to the mansion. It's got, the stairs leading up onto the big front porch and the typical columns. Looks like it's maybe 2 stories. Got a very sloped roof to make sure the rain runs off. There's windows. As you look in the windows, again, the sun's sinking, so it's getting harder and harder to see, but you can tell that there's not a whole lot of the roof that's left. And you think you maybe even detect maybe some small trees that have grown up inside, but you're not real sure. Yeah, it looks pretty dilapidated.
Are there any doors that are intact or?
The front door's intact. It is a little bit open, and then there's kind of stuff at the bottom, looks like leaves and branches and twigs, but yeah.
Okay.
We'll step up to the front door if the porch area is in any kind of good condition?
It's a little spongy and soft. You're gonna have to be careful so you don't step in the wrong spot. But you can kind of test in front of you and check it. So you're carefully. Who's taking point on that?
I guess
I mean,
Okay, you take point. You
This
start.
is my dumb idea.
Yeah, well, you kind
I
of
will
start.
grab the rear.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Woo. Okay.
Well, you know.
You start.
Hey.
Hey, whoa, hey! I'm a woman of God. What are you doing? Yeah.
Slip of the fingers.
So you start walking forward. You get to the door, and it's open about maybe a foot, and you wind up having to kind of pull it, and it's hard to move. You kind of drag it open. It looks like it's swollen open some, or the door is swollen some, so it's hard to move. And there's an entrance foyer. The stairs to the second floor look pretty rickety. The walls are covered in kind of mold and moss. There's a door going to the left and to the right, maybe into 2 other rooms. You can peer through them if you want. It's getting dark enough. You're gonna need some light pretty quick, whether it be flashlights or your resident
I
wizard.
imagine I
can
got one
call.
of those dorky headlamp things, you know?
You probably do, yeah. You gonna pull it out and put it on?
Yeah.
Okay. You pull out your headlamp and you put the light on. You're looking around. The rest of you can see that the hallway goes further back into the house, and there are doorways to the left and to the right. Looks like rooms. Maybe there's lots of leaves and debris and branches, and so you're not seeing a whole lot of excitement here. It seems pretty quiet. Jody, you with us still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am. Sorry.
Okay, your eyes were closed.
Oh, no, I was just thinking. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
Are we going stealthily about this, or do we want to shave and a haircut to let people know we're here?
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm for stealthy.
I like
if,
stealth.
If it was
Mhm.
if it was covered over and it was it was a really strong spell.
It was a pretty strong spell.
Yeah.
I'd rather kind of like check things
Yeah, I
out
got you.
sneakily.
Yeah.
What do you think?
All right. Need some stealth checks all around, please.
Stealth is. Oh, it's a
a
skill I
stealth.
don't have.
Oh, well, then you
Okay.
just make a 0, basically. That's even. That's a 0.
I'm gonna walk around with great rapport. Not really.
Mm.
I don't have any skill, and I got a -1.
You can do veils. I don't know why you're. I mean, either one of you could do
That's
veils to
true.
make you guys invisible, so it's up to y'all.
Okay, I'll do a veil then. I wasn't thinking. What am I
Okay.
thinking?
I got a 1, so
Oh,
I'm feeling okay.
Well, do they need a veil?
okay. It's up to
Do
you.
they need a veil?
Remember, that's going to cost you some, stress points. You might want to save those for combat or otherwise. It's up to you.
I'll just walk.
I got a 0, so I think I'm sitting at
0.
on the luck of God.
You're at +1, and what's yours?
I'm at a -1. I'm
Oh,
tripping on stuff, making
wow.
noise.
I'd like to tag an aspect.
What tag?
Can I just tag darkness to bonus?
So you're assuming that one of the aspects on this place is dark. Yeah, it is. It's not.
Okay, I would think so.
I'll let you do that. Yeah. Now it's going to cost you a point. Remember.
That is totally
Yeah.
fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now do I re-roll?
No, you can either re-roll or add a +2. Right.
That's what I'm.
Oh, okay. What'd you get
Because
originally?
I got 2 negatives, 1 plus and a
Ooh.
nil.
Ugh, I might re-roll.
I think so because I could add a +2 and have a 4 total. But I
Yeah.
would like somehow get a potent success if I can.
You could.
Alright, we're gonna risk it all and get all ones.
Big bucks, no whammies.
Ah! It's the same exact.
Oh my
That's
gosh, I
amazing.
hate that.
All right, well that's a 2 stealth.
Well, that's not too bad. You actually have the highest of all of us.
that's
So
it.
yeah, you
Clomp,
start
clomp, clomp.
moving into there. Yeah, you get the feeling you're not being very stealthy, but you are being very careful, and so the floor is a bit spongy and soft in places, whether it be from termites or damp or rot. So you're a little nervous. So you're being careful.
We're in the house.
You are now in the house. You've come off the porch into the foyer. Like I said, the stairs going up to the second floor look pretty rickety. There's a doorway to the left and to the right, and there's also the hallway goes further back. Which way are you taking them?
Well, I'm just gonna kind of assess to the right and left what can be seen through the doorways.
Again, one of the rooms on the bottom floor, the one to the right, has a hole in the floor. It looks like it drops down because it's a pier and beam construction is what it is, or something like that.
Yeah.
It may even drop down into a basement. You're not real sure, but there's a big hole in the floor. The one to the left looks like the floor is at least in reasonably good shape. There looks like some very tattered carpets on the floor. There's a fireplace, maybe some piles of rotten wood that was once furniture. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna check that room, and specifically first I'm going to check the hearth because I know that a lot of people used to like carve symbols and hidden messages into their hearthstones and stuff. So I was gonna look for something like that first.
Yeah, you go over into that room. The fireplace. Nah, you don't see anything carved in it. And actually, the floor here seems to be in pretty good shape. There are no other exits. Looks maybe like it was a sitting room, big, tall, windows. Yeah, there's some kind of tattered, looks like cloth, some tattered wood, maybe couches and chairs. You're not sure. There are some bookshelves on the wall, and there's a few books that have fallen over. They look pretty moldy.
I was gonna say, is this stuff moldy?
Yeah, it's pretty moldy and nasty. I mean, again, pontchartrain, water, rain, roof is open. Yeah, this stuff is in pretty bad shape, and lots of leaves and just debris, animal droppings. You're like, yeah, stuff has been in here. Yeah.
Any interesting book titles if they're readable
You're
at
gonna
all?
reach over to get them. I mean, you're not even sure you can read the titles because they are so
That's what I was wondering.
moldy.
All right.
I mean,
Just
yeah,
fuzzy
it's just,
ones.
they're
No, thank
funky,
you. No, thank you.
funky. Yeah.
Is there an X anywhere?
No.
Yes. Good question.
No exits. You don't see any other exits, but again, remember there is a hallway that goes further back into the house and one to the right with the hole in
They're
the
all
floor.
in
Yeah.
Texas.
Let's go. That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's the next time.
Okay. All right. We'll just keep kind of sweeping, I guess, room by room.
So you head to the other side where the floors collapse. This looks like it might have been a dining room. There is kind of a collapsed chandelier over on one side of the room. It's all rusted. Maybe it was brass, but it's all bent and broken, and it's got lots of stuff on it. There's a door heading further into the house that you can take. This door is again slightly propped open by debris and leaves and stuff like that. Yeah.
Does the floor open up to the ground, or is it a basement?
No, it does go into the basement. You can see that there's a basement here. The basement looks partially flooded. You're not there. It goes down about 4 feet, and then there's water. Yeah, murky, nasty, dark
That is
water.
a poltergeist scene waiting to happen.
Yeah, you really don't want to get in there. Well, and it's pontchartrain water too, which is yuck. That's a good way to get dysentery and
I am in snorkeling gear.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's nasty water.
Does it look like there is a way to safely get to the door that's ajar on the other side of the room from
Possibly.
here?
There's somebody that flies.
Oh,
Is it big enough to fly in here?
No, you could probably leap across, throw your wings out, and kind of glide yourself across. Give me a quick athletics check.
All right.
Well, you have pretty good athletics, don't you?
Yes. I'll look that up in case if I need it. I'll just roll. Alright, so wow, that's a great roll. I get a 3.
That's fine.
Is that good enough?
Yeah. You kind of see the hole, you leap across, throw your wings out, kind of glide towards this door, and hit it with a shoulder. The door flings in, it kind of swings off one of the hinges. There's a short hallway that goes right and left of you, and there's a door in front of you, and it kind of leads out the back of the house. Yeah.
Okay. Anything interesting in?
Nah, it's just a little hallway to the right, to the left. Yeah, that's pretty much. And then an exit out the back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's 2 hallways and an exit to the back of the house.
Right. Yeah.
nothing interesting?
No. You do see some stairs that are going up to the second floor, kind of at the end of one of the halls.
There's some stairs that go up to the second floor at the end of the hall.
They look in a little better shape.
They look better.
Oh, well, that might be our ticket to the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to sweep the rest of the first floor first, or is there any other rooms on the first floor?
Well, there's still the area with the hallway that goes out of the the foyer. So yeah, there is an area that goes back there. Yeah.
Okay, well that'll be our backup plan because I
Okay.
don't think the main stairwell is how we're gonna go up. But
Yeah, probably not.
maybe let's finish the bottom floor before we
Okay.
All right.
All right. So are you gonna check out the little hallway that's in here? Okay. Is that what I'm hearing, or are you gonna go to the foyer?
The hallway was in this room.
Well, there's a little hallway where he busted through the door. There was one side of the hallway went upstairs, and one side looks like it comes to a dead end. And then there was a doorway that goes out onto looks like a back porch.
Okay,
Sure.
so aside from this room and this room that we were looking at, and that hallway that goes upstairs, are there any other rooms further down the hallway from the foyer?
For the foyer, there's one further down. Yeah.
Okay, I do want to check that room out before we
Okay.
possibly venture upstairs.
You start heading back out into the foyer, and you're kind of walking underneath the little landing with the stairs that would go there. And on the floor of the room, of the hallway where you're walking, you see this carved into the floorboards. Okay? And then
pineapple.
it's filled with white chalk
Swingers.
dust or something like that. That's what it is. And so it's got this weird symbol there. Yeah.
Does this look like the same, maybe
Type of-
craftsmanship as the other drawing
Give
outside?
me a lore check.
The same shade of chalk that's used in the other place.
That's good. That's
I
good.
know I've
5.
seen this shit talk before.
Yeah, you're
No,
you're
wait.
thinking
3.
that
Actually,
you're
sorry.
thinking that this is maybe some kind of voodoo tradition, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not sure.
Voodoo.
All right. All right.
You're thinking maybe same kind of stuff. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
not really sure if it's by the same person, but definitely seems to be a voodoo tradition.
Someone or someone's is out here doing some casting of some kind.
Something.
Something's happening.
You gonna smudge the drawing, or are you gonna skirt around it,
I
or
don't know. I don't know
Skirt
if
around.
touching.
skirt around?
I don't know
Yeah.
if breaking sigils or wards or I'm not gonna try to do that.
I think going around is best.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right,
No
you guys
traps, please.
skirts the sigil in the floor and head a little further back. Again, you come into a room that looks like it's kind of off the back of the house. This seems to be maybe a dining room. There's a long table, but one of the ends has collapsed and it's kind of fallen to the ground. There's a couple collapsed chandeliers as well. So this looks like it maybe is the dining room, and it ties in to basically where the hallway that I said came to a dead end would come up against one of the walls, and
Gotcha.
you're kind of looking at it and you realize that it's not a dead end. There's kind of a hidden door that maybe like the servants would bring
entrance or something?
food in
Oh,
to
okay.
this, because if memory serves, you probably wouldn't have had a kitchen inside the main house, because if it caught on fire, it would burn the house down.
Right.
So the kitchen would have been external. Jody, you awake?
Yep.
No, you're not. You're fading fast.
No, I'm awake. I'm awake. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Losing her.
Yeah. Oh, if anybody needs to, just let me know because I'm awake.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs what?
Anybody needs it to call it or whatever.
Probably 2
No,
minutes
no,
out or
I'm
whatever.
good. I'm good.
Give me a few more minutes. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. So anything going on with the servants' entrance?
No, it again goes to the little hallway and then out the door towards the back porch, which would definitely lead to maybe another building that was a kitchen
And
or something.
anything
Like
interesting in the dining room of note? Just okay.
that. You do
Anything
notice.
Yeah.
Anything
Any
stealable.
crystals
Yeah,
on
there's
the-
crystal-
You know,
anything with value.
There's a few crystals on the floor, maybe came from the chandelier.
Grab one of those.
You're not sure if they're worth anything. Who knows? Who
Leaving
knows?
this island empty.
Exactly. I'm walking outside.
Yeah, you don't see there's any plates or anything, or if there were, they've probably been broken or long ago. The floor seems a lot more solid. It's just that one particular front room where it seems that the floor is collapsed into the water.
Can I see? Can I still see the ley lines?
Wizard sight?
Oh.
Up to you.
I think I'll do wizard sight just to kind of see if that gives us more of a direction of what we should.
Give me a lore check.
I got
Even.
a 4.
Okay. When you open your wizard sight and look around, you notice that this entire building has a real sense of oldness. But the other thing about it is you don't see a lot of anger or hatred or anything like that. This actually seems like a pretty happy place, is the whole feeling you get from it.
Like,
There is Though when you look at that sigil on the floor that I showed you that looked like this, there's a lot of power coming off of that sigil, and you notice that the ley lines seem to be feeding it. So this sigil is, whatever it is definitely active.
Is that the dead center convergence point?
You're not really sure. It's hard to tell. But you can see, magical energy washing off of this thing. So it's definitely still around.
So what?
Yeah.
What skill do you use to identify the parts of a sigil? I'm not sure.
Lord check. Well, maybe. Let me see. If you're trying to identify what kind of magic it is, that could either be lore.
Maybe scholarship?
Yeah, probably scholarship is a better
Mention
one.
stuff I don't have.
But I have it.
You actually have
Oh.
I'll let you make a lore check if you're trying to identify it,
Well,
or
if he has
scholarship.
scholarship, could we not work together somehow?
I mean, lore says arcane research.
Right.
That's
Well, this is
mystic
kind of
perception.
arcane. Yeah. Are you going to support her in this? Maybe give her a whisper in her
definitely,
ear?
yeah.
Okay. Make another lore to see if you can identify. No, wait, hang on. Do you want to close your wizard sight? No.
there scholarship answers.
It might be safer to close it now than
Discipline
open
check.
it up
Discipline
to.
check, yeah. Ooh.
Hey.
That's not too bad.
So that's a 6.
Okay, yeah. You close your wizard sight. Take no stress or damage or anything like that. All right, so make me a lore check to kind of work with what you're trying to do. Ugh. You get a +1 from Trevor helping you. Or from Darwin helping you. What'd you get? Lore.
So that would be, it evens out?
Yeah.
So it's just a 5.
Okay.
I can tag an aspect though.
You think you remember in some of your studies of some of the books that you've been reading that this is maybe the sigil for one of the Loa called Papa Legba. He's kind of the guardian of the crossroads in current Christian, kind of mythology. He's Satan. Legba was the Satan, the demon you would meet at the crossroads. Excuse me. But in voodoo thought he was not really a demon. He was a spirit that you would, make a deal with. And he wasn't necessarily evil. He was just kind of tricksy. Yeah. There you go.
There he is.
Well, I don't want to make any deals with him.
Yeah.
Oh, a crossroads demon. Ley lines convergence.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we want to dismantle the sigil?
Nope.
Bunk goes, I'm not
Bunks, no.
touching that sigil. That
I-
sounds like a
We can
terrible idea.
explore the rest of the house first.
Maybe we can
We have
do
no
that
other
on
answers.
the way out, me and you,
Let's, okay, yeah.
while they're
Nope.
safely on the boat.
Darwin has a thought, I think.
Darwin has a thought.
Darwin?
No, I was gonna
Oh,
say.
Darwin! There he is.
Yeah, there's a phone call. I'm down with exploring the rest of this place because the more knowledge we have can only help us.
Right.
But I'm not entirely sure that we should mess with something that we don't fully grasp that's being fed by ley lines.
We also found some other voodoo shit earlier on the beach. And some
Different sigil.
Different sigil.
like some drunk Bacardi and wine that people may have been here recently within the last few months or so.
And chocolate.
Yeah, chicken foot. Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's the sigil that's causing the taint to the ley line.
Well, you checked it earlier, and he said it was a different kind
It
of
was
magic
old.
and tied to it.
Okay.
So you said there was that part where the place collapsed
Into the basement. Yeah.
into the basement.
Yeah. Nasty dark water. Icky.
That must be.
I mean, you can go down there, but it's just going to be gross. Ponch train water seeping
like
into your
to.
basement.
I actually kind of would do.
Okay.
I'm already wet, so I might as well.
Okay.
All right. So, you guys going to
Lots
head?
of fun.
Yeah.
You going to head to check it out?
All right, I'll go in.
All right, so you head back to this
Headlamp.
front room where the floor's collapsed. You can climb down in there. It's probably maybe 5 feet until you hit the water. You're not sure how deep the water is or anything like that, but you've got wings. You can kind of
It's
lower yourself in, kind of
cold.
close. Yeah, you gonna drop in?
Yeah,
Your feet touch the water. Oh, dear Lord, it is cold. And it's a bit slimy. So you put your kind of feet in and you drop down a little further, and it's really cold and slimy, and it's dark. Now, remember, she's got a headlamp that she's got on, so she's kind of watching you. You kind of come up to a little bit above your waist, this cold, nasty water, and then your feet hit the mud. And the mud, your feet sink about 6 inches into, and then they stop.
it's like that good swamp mud.
Yeah, it's a good swamp mud. That's what that is.
As a kid, I used to love that between my toes.
You kind of look around, and you
It feels so good.
yeah, sure, that's what it is. Or you get swamp rot, one of the two, on your feet, and well, you look around.
Beautiful.
You notice that there is an area that there's like some stairs that kind of go up to the side. And at the top of the stairs are what looks like a pair of doors, maybe like a root cellar.
Yeah, that's
you see some rotted pieces of vegetable and stuff like that hanging from the ceiling. So this looks like where maybe the root cellar was, where they would store
Is there
stuff.
anything else special?
Few jars, some crockery on some really nasty
Nothing cool or
collapsed
treasure-like
shelves.
looking?
Nah, it doesn't look like it.
So you said a few
Any of this
jars.
go?
Yeah,
like probably
like from
pickled
pickled
peaches or
yucky stuff that's
beets
been there
or-
for a couple hundred years. You
Fair
probably don't want to drink it or eat it.
Pure vinegar
But-
now?
Yeah, well, still pure
Jars?
something.
Paint there now?
Yeah, paint thinner now. That's
been
right.
there since
Yeah.
the 1800s. The
Yeah.
jars might be worth
I
something
guess-
on eBay.
Can't argue with that.
I can imagine they come up and have like 12 jars.
I'll take a couple jars.
You can
Wasn't
grab one.
there-
It's got some nasty looking floaty brown icky stuff in it.
I don't
you
know
grab
if
a
it was just
couple.
the
I'm
internet.
gonna shake it like a snow globe and just watch the stuff swirl.
No, yeah. You're just like you kind of shake it like a snuggle. It's gross. Yeah. But yeah, you can dump it out and wash it
I
out. It
think
might
this
be
was
worth something.
pink
Yeah, it looks like kind of some of those canning jars, those mason jars with little metal, lid kind of thing. So yeah. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably crawl out after that.
They're sealed with wax, by the way.
Ooh.
So you climb your way out with a couple. She asked you for a couple jars. I guess you probably bring them to her.
Yeah,
They got this nasty brown liquid and some chunky bits in them that you're kind of like yuck. But yeah, nothing really exciting. What do you want to do now?
I guess there's
I
upstairs,
guess
right?
upstairs is
Head towards the one stairwell that looks less than rickety.
the
Yeah,
stable
okay.
one.
You head. Yeah, it's a really narrow little hallway. You're a pretty big guy shoulder wise, and your shoulders are kind of rubbing on the hallway walls because it's maybe 2.5, 3 feet wide. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's pretty narrow. You go up this little narrow stairwell, and it leads into a room where the roof is definitely collapsed. There's looks like some broken furniture that's kind of rotted in the corners. There's a fallen over, what looks like tipped over, maybe wardrobe. But it's got, again, the doors have fallen off. The back is rotted out. And so, again, this looks like maybe it's a large bedroom. You may have, let's see, we have history. Scholarship would kind of give you an idea of what this might be.
Well, are all of us there?
Well, I figured all of you were.
Okay.
You said,
I
guys
just
said we were
wasn't
sticking
sure.
together.
So
Yeah.
when I came out of
Plus
the water,
one.
we okay.
Yeah, he headed up here. How much?
I got a 1.
Okay.
I mean, I'm definitely not going into the water.
No,
but
but you're
going
up the stairs. Yeah,
upstairs.
Sure.
I got
You
a
got 2.
tree.
A tree, a two. You doing scholarship?
Oh, there
There they are.
I was like,
Sneaky
like,
green
where are
dice.
they?
Yeah.
You hate to see that.
Oh, so even so too.
All right. You think this would probably have been the slave quarters or the servants' quarters? Yeah, and so it would probably been a very communal bedroom, maybe for the women or the men. You do realize that across the hallway there is another room with a bunch, looks very similar. So probably one of these rooms was for the women's servants and the other was for the men's servants. Yeah, and that was very much just kind of a dormitory setup.
Is this
Yeah.
going to have access to the main hallway?
No, not at all.
Can we look for like secret doors or loose
That would be
floorboards,
investigation.
stuff like that? Because I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Investigation. Yeah.
I
I also
have,
have this.
I have
Do some investigation.
Oh,
Ooh,
got a 6.
I got a 4.
I got a 2.
Wow.
I also got
Holy
6.
cow.
Damn.
4.
Wow.
You look around, there don't seem to
Some
be any...
noticing boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for nothing. There's nothing there.
Unfortunately, there are no actual doors or anything leading into the main part of the house. This would definitely have been the servants' area, where they would have kept the servants, kind of separate from the rest of the people who lived in the house. So there don't seem to be any ways in. The only door that's kind of secret is the one that led into the dining room, where the servants would have been able to kind of come in from the kitchen through this little back door and take stuff in, put it down, and then go back out to get more food.
In like a less than noticeable kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's kind of the way they handled servants back then. They were like furniture, unfortunately. Yeah.
I would like to go to which I guess the dormitory that's closest to maybe the second floor balcony kind of area.
Yeah.
Test the wall and make a door ourselves.
Yeah, you can do that. The wall seems pretty flimsy. It's got kind of this plaster. This is before you had gypsum wallboard. This is literally plaster that you would have slapped up there and let dry in place, and it has all these slats of wood behind it. You kind of rear back with your fist, and it just goes right through. Because again, the wood is rotten, and so there's about an 18-inch opening where there's some wood there that's kind of rotten that holds up. It actually looks in a little better shape, but you can kind of turn sideways and slide through.
You still have to go up the rickety stairs.
Right. You go in through, and there's a bedroom. The bed is actually, you can tell it's a bed because it's got these big, canopy bed kind of posts that have fallen over the side. There's a bunch of feathers, which obviously came from maybe the pillows or and there is a wardrobe that's actually semi-intact. Hasn't rotted completely away. That's kind of tipped over and leaning against the wall. There's lots of windows, and there is a balcony that leads off the back of the house. There's a door leading out somewhere. You're not sure where. Looks like towards where the stairs were.
I made a door.
Yeah, you made a door.
Who's gonna check the?
For the record, I want to say I helped with that door.
Yeah.
Only reason why. Craftsmanship of 5. First thing under craftsmanship is breaking.
Hey, punch there. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You like design the
You like-
In
Put his ear
this
to it.
area.
Pulled out your Sharpie and went
Right there.
Looky there. Yeah. So yeah. So you basically, kind of step into this bedroom. The floor creaks a bit and kind of wibbly wobblies, but you're thinking it's mostly intact.
Testing with every step.
Yeah,
as if
definitely,
on ice.
because it's kind of a little soft. You open the door out into the hallway, and you kind of stick your foot out on the landing. There's a couple other doors out there, maybe leading to other bedrooms, but that landing it's pretty
It's
sketchy.
giving me PTSD from the town we broke into.
Oh, right.
High school after Katrina.
Ooh, yeah, it's pretty
Second
sketchy.
floor was.
Yeah,
We got to the
wibbly
second
wobbly.
floor and we started walking. We're like, ooh,
Ooh, this is not
I don't
good.
know,
That's
it's
not
just-
okay.
and we were far into it before we started noticing. We're like, are we gonna make it back to the stairwell?
We'll hope so. This landing, which comes to the sketchy staircase from the entrance foyer, is not okay. You're like, I really don't want to step out there. There's a good chance this could probably give way beneath me. But the bedroom, at least, is okay. The other doors leading to probably what's other bedrooms, you're not sure how you're going to get there. So you could fly there, but the rest of these guys are not going to be able to do that.
I'm gonna turn over the wardrobe just in case there's anything in it.
Well, if there was, there's not anymore.
Oh.
You grab it, kind of turn it, open the door. There's a few tattered pieces of what might have been clothing at one point. A couple moths come flying out, and other than that, it's just pretty empty.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
But even so, the wardrobe, when you kind of start moving it, you can see that the wood has really rotted badly.
I don't understand why they're protected
Mm.
this place.
Pretty
There's
nice.
got to be
feels
more to
pretty
it.
Missing
much like a
something.
dud so
Alright.
far. All right. Well, do you
I'm
wanna?
gonna-
I can fly across and scout.
Okay, you gonna check out the bedrooms? All right, you leap into the air, kind of glide across, hit one of the hit one of the doors with your shoulder. Door just shatters. You land inside there. The floor here is much softer. You're like, whoa, okay. Again, it's almost an exact repeat of the other bedroom where there's kind of the tattered remains of a bed and a wardrobe, and it's in pretty bad shape for sure. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So weird.
Yeah, nothing here.
It's weird. It's weird. I mean, there's got to be something.
Maybe that sigil is masking reality.
I thought about playing with it, but y'all were like, no.
Well, we want to get more information first.
Well,
Because
Let's
you
let
don't take a
everybody who's
screwdriver and mess with your power box.
Yeah, that's a good way to get
Well, maybe not more than
Way to
one.
get shot.
Yeah, definitely not more than once. You put a
So-
screwdriver in a power box, and one time you're dead.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
You only do it once.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
Oh, what if
Yoda.
everybody who's uncomfortable with it, what if they get a wide berth and then we just do a little?
I'm
I'm sorry,
unsure
what was
what
that?
Breaking of the sigil.
That was
Are we
me.
like
We dance on the
dancing
sigil?
or-
Yes, that was me moonwalking across the sigil.
I'm
Do you
gonna
wanna,
look
like,
my
bring
wizard eye again and see if I can see something.
Or
in his
summon, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good.
way. I don't
Summoning
know if I
whatever
want
is
to.
on the sigil.
Summon.
Or dispel it.
We could.
Try and counterspell.
Let
if
me
you
let
want.
me do my wizard eye and see if I can see
You look
something.
at what are you looking at? The sigil?
Yeah.
You already looked at the sigil. You know it's being fed with the ley lines. You know it's
Okay.
kind of associated with Papa Legba, but other than that, I mean, you've already looked at it once.
But can I look so that I can see?
You gonna try and
Right.
dispel it by using your wizard's eye? While you're using your wizard's eye? I mean, you can do that. You can try counterspell.
I was just gonna look around and see if there's anything else revealed with the wizard's eye other than the sigil. I mean, is that the only thing here that's lighting up?
No, you can try it.
I
All
don't want
right.
to dispel it yet. I just want to
Right.
see if there's something else that we're not.
So are you going
seeing.
back down to the foyer? You stand up second floor?
I'm
What
gonna
are we
stay on
doing?
the second floor where they're checking out the
Okay.
rooms, right?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Roll.
We haven't looked around. At
Oh dear lord!
Lore check, right?
Yeah, 3.
You look around, and one of the things you notice is that this area of the house is just full of this residual life energy. Somebody lived here, and they were very vibrant and alive. And this was a household with family and people, and there was a lot of happiness here. Now it's very much faded because it's been 200, 300 years. But this was a place that was loved by a lot of people. A lot of people lived here, and they really enjoyed it and called it home. You know, you get even the feeling that there weren't really slaves here, because you would probably be able to sense the darkness that comes along with slavery. You get the feeling that the people who served here actually enjoyed their jobs. Maybe they even got paid for them. And so again, this was a community. It was a good time, but again, that was long ago and far away from where it is now. Now, what you sense is this kind of decay, and just like it's just gradually succumbing to time. It probably wouldn't be long before there wouldn't be much left.
Right. So
You can even detect maybe a very, very weak threshold, because this place was just that much of a home for a lot of people, which is interesting.
I was going to ask about the whole threshold thing, but I was thinking, like, I mean, after a couple hundred years, I don't know.
It would, yeah. Where a couple hundred years, you normally would not have a threshold, but this place has very much maintained its family attitude. And if you're going to close your wizard sight, I need a discipline check to see if you take any damage, or you're going to leave it open. Still have to make a discipline check, but it doesn't matter.
I'll close it.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a roll.
Better.
Much better.
I got a 7.
Okay, you close your wizard sight. So yeah.
So okay.
Mhm.
Going back to the sigil, I'm trying to remember. You said it was tainted.
No,
Or
I
it
said
was
it was
just
being
really strong,
powered.
it's
It was still
powered.
powered by the ley lines. It was not tainted. No,
But one of the ley lines is tainted.
right.
So, if everybody who's sketched out wants
Sketched
to
out.
give us a berth, we could potentially. I don't know if this would help, but I do have this ability called Bless This House, where I could increase the threshold. I don't know if that would stop something from getting out, or if it would just whatever. And I could try to strengthen the threshold while you dispel that sigil and let's just see what happens.
So my question about that is that I don't know so much how it would affect you, but this isn't our house.
The bless the house ability
Works no
doesn't
matter where.
have to be my
Right.
house.
But there's no one to invite us into this house. How does the house's threshold affect us when we can't technically be invited in? And if you make it stronger, does that make
Right.
us weaker because
No,
we
it
have...
wouldn't. Because there's nobody there to invite you in. Essentially,
Okay.
coming to
All
the
right.
house, you're kind of laying claim to it because
I don't exactly know how it works and like the rules and stuff like that because I haven't fully read over it, but I know
I
that
haven't either, so I'm asking.
Right. My idea here was just that like if something bad happens as a result of this, perhaps it will just add an extra barrier of protection for the people outside.
It's very possible. Very possible. As long as you're inside the house, you might actually have a little more protection from it. That's true. True. So you're gonna start dinking with it.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay.
All right,
You
you
guys up
guys
for it?
want to?
All
They
right.
want to.
I mean,
they want
the-
to go to the boat first, or get clear of the house.
I'm not sure because he just said as long as we're in the house, it might be more protection.
Okay. Well,
It's true.
if you guys want to
It was a home at one point, and it was a point of protection for a lot of people. So you're gonna kind of use your ability to
Yup.
bless this house.
Nice.
Now, the sigil is very obviously ritual magic. So to counterspell ritual magic, you're going to have to do a ritual of your own.
Yeah,
So, okay.
I'm gonna do a ritual, and would it be a good idea to tag an aspect?
Well, let me.
on
Okay,
this,
so
or just
what you're
wait
trying to do?
till
Wait, hold on. So you're
I
trying
roll
to do it.
terrible.
Right?
I'd like something.
Right.
Yeah, I'll wait till I roll terrible. It
You're
won't
going to
take
try and
long.
counterspell this ritual, right?
Yeah.
Let me see here. To do ritual magic.
And here's a question: do we have to counterspell the entire thing, or can we kind of like sort of pick it apart?
No, you'll probably need to. Well, remember, you can take as much time as you want. Okay, so if the complexity of this spell is less than your lore, then no preparation is required. Okay. The complexity of the spell is 15. What is your lore?
Definitely not. My lore is
The
5.
to destroy the
So
Fail.
he could help you, which would give you a 6.
He can't though.
No, because he's not a thaumaturgist. So you're going to need some magic items, tag some aspects, something like that
Wait,
to
hold
try
on.
and.
I think I have something else
Okay.
that can help. I have Guide My Hand, which is basically I pray for you,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure what it does yet, so let me look it up.
Okay, that's fine.
So didn't you say that y'all found another sigil outside?
Now, the other option on that is you can take stress equal to the difference.
It was a drawing of a boat called something. It looked like a steam.
Would I need divination
Imam, I
in
think the
this?
last, like,
Huh?
Yeah,
What do you mean? No, this is not
Oh,
divination. No,
yeah.
no.
I didn't know if there was OO or a porthole.
I'm just trying to think of anything.
Okay.
that I can-
I'm not sure. So there's like 3 letters. that were the
AM
same.
and then
Yeah.
circles.
So you got a 6. You need a
It was like some
15.
kind of- it had like a
So
steam
I don't
chute,
know if
too.
I'll be
Yeah.
able to
Smokestack?
assist in
Just
this
a
way, but
smokestack
let me
with
read what it says.
Like a
Given
shrimping
time to
bolt
pray
or
for
something?
guidance and
It
that
was
your goals are pure and
sail
selfless, you may
going
spend
this
a fate
way,
point to use your
there's
conviction
smokestack,
skill instead of
and
any
then
other skill
flag, but the
for
flag was
one
going-
roll.
Okay.
This effect cannot be used for attacks or maneuvers, but can be used to bypass
look like
other
we're
kinds of
hybrid.
obstacles.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, since you're not really bypassing the spell, I'm not sure that would
Did he like
help.
show you a picture?
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we're going-
If somebody
That's
were
why it's so
casting a
descriptive.
spell,
It's like,
on you,
exactly.
or trying
Pretty
to
damn
bind
good
you.
on it.
Right. So, all right. So we got 6 points out of 15. So you need 9 more points. You're going to need to tag some aspects. See if you've got some preparation, some magic items that you can use. Do you have any foci that would allow you to counterspell? Your sword could be used.
I have my foci is for like defensive control.
Okay. Your
And-
sword, remember, can be a strength 6 counterspell
Yes.
once per session.
Ooh.
Right.
Right.
So that would be a counterspell to the sigil. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Right.
Okay.
Because
So
it
that would
literally
add
is.
+6 to
Right.
your overall.
Mhm.
And then I could tag the aspect seeking the truth because I want to know what.
Right. So that would be
Behind the sigil.
14. You'd be one. You could take a
14.
1-point stress and you'd be fine.
What about dead inside? Because this home is kind of dead.
No.
Tan.
But how many more would you need after 14?
Ooh, what about love conquers all? Because there's
Jody?
love and...
You're gonna have to take a 1 point stress.
Okay. I will.
So, all right. So you begin your ritual. You grab your little chalk and you kind of make a circle
Is this
around
gonna
the
be mental
sigil.
Stress?
Huh?
Mental.
Yes, mental stress. Let me see what it says actually. Accept or inflict counting stress value of constant. Okay, yeah, it'd be mental.
Do I take it now?
Yes, you take 1 point. So basically, you draw a circle around it with your chalk. You put candles in the corners. You take your sword out and you kind of touch your sword to the sigil, and there's just kind of this wing sound as it just kind of increases in the ringing tone that's coming with it. As this is going on, the rest of you hear outside the house.
Awareness, I look.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
sword
look,
at the
yeah,
ready.
look outside and see.
You go look outside. From the right-hand side of the house, I guess what would be the eastern side, there was a fenced-in area that you saw. And you see these shapes that seem to be shambling towards the house.
Oh, God, it's
okay?
Zombie Island.
Sweet.
Ghouls.
I mean, oh no!
Humanoid? Yeah.
Swamp
Some kind of
things.
zombie things.
Yeah, it looked maybe zombie-ish.
Shambling
Yeah.
mounds.
How many are
There you
there?
go.
Well, there's only 3 that have come out of the basically fenced-in area yet,
for
but
you
you
to die.
see a lot
Yeah.
of movement behind them.